Hi everyone, I'm Bridget Mariano and I'm from BSC 3A and I'm from the group 2. Right now we're gonna talk about the reservations of the different IP groups. So, in the Philippines, the protection and reservation of indigenous peoples' rights are addressed through several legal frameworks and policies. The country is home to a diverse range of indigenous groups, collectively referred to as indigenous peoples or IPs or LUMAD in certain regions. Here's an overview of how indigenous rights and lands are recognized and protected in the Philippines. So first, we're gonna talk about the legal framework. In the legal framework, we have this Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act or the IPRA of 1997. So, in the legal basis, the IPRA is the primary legislations in the Philippines that recognize and protects the rights of indigenous peoples. It aims to recognize their ancestral domain rights, and cultural integrity and self-governance. So, as we mentioned, ancestral domain and lands, the IPRA provides for the recognitions of ancestral domain claims which include land, resources, and traditional territories. It also allows indigenous communities to obtain certificates of ancestral domain title, or we should say CADT, and the certificates of ancestral land title, or the CALT. So, in this act, it also includes the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples or the NCIP. The NCIP is the government agency responsible for implementing IPRA, including the processing of ancestral domain claims and promoting the rights and welfare of indigenous communities. So, on the other hand, we also have here the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act implementing rules and regulation, or the IRR. Um, it provides details guidelines on the implementation of IPRA, including the procedures for securing ancestral domain titles and engaging with the indigenous communities. So on the next slide, no, on the next so the next one is the ancestral domain and land rights. So in this one, it includes the certificate of ancestral domain title, or the CADT, as I mentioned earlier. So the purpose of CADT is this is the legal documents that recognize the collective rights of indigenous communities to their ancestral domains. So they provide legal protection against encroachment and exploitation. So in the process in obtaining this, it involves a lengthy process of validation, including the community consultation and the identification of the traditional boundaries. So while in the certificate of ancestral land title, or the CALT, as I also mentioned earlier, these are issued for individual or family lands that are part of the ancestral domain. They provide the legal recognition and protection for these lands. So similar to CADT, the process involves community validation and documentation of traditional land use. So on the next slide, we have here the cultural and political representations. We have the Indigenous Cultural Communities, or the ICCS. We also have the community-based organizations and political participations. So first, um, is the indigenous cultural communities. So in this, the IPRA recognizes and supports the cultural rights of indigenous cultural communities, including their traditions, customs, and practices. While in the community-based organizations, um, indigenous communities often have their own traditional governance, structures, and organizations that manage local affairs and represent their interests. So while in the political participation, the indigenous groups are encouraged to participate in local and national governance. For example, there are provisions for indigenous representatives and local government units and the national policy making bodies. So on the next one is the challenges and issues. So we're gonna talk about the challenges and issues. So in the challenges and issues, we have here the land encroachment and resource exploitation. So we also have the cultural preservation, implementation and enforcement. Lastly is the climate change and environmental issues. So in this, the land encroachment resource exploitation, the problem talks about the indigenous lands are often um, threatened by mining, lodging, and agricultural expansion. There have numerous conflicts between indigenous communities and external entities over land and resource use. On the legal disputes, there are ongoing legal battles to protect the ancestral domains from encroachment and to enforce IPRA provisions. In cultural preservations, one thing that conflict the cultural preservation are that indigenous cultures face pressure from modernization and assimilation, but efforts to preserve language, tradition, and cultural practices are ongoing. So, in order to get away from the pressure, is there are initiatives to integrate indigenous history and culture into the educational system and media to promote cultural awareness. So in implementation and enforcement, the challenges to this is the effective implementation of IPRA can be the effective implementation of IPRA can be hindered by bureaucratic and inefficiencies, lack of resources, and resistance from various stakeholders. Advocacy and monitoring by indigenous groups and society organizations are crucial to addressing these issues. So, on the last one is the climate change and environmental issues. So, in this case, indigenous communities are particularly vulnerable to the effects of climate change and environmental degradation impacting their traditional ways of life and resources. So, yun nga, kagaya ng mga bagyo and such. So, isa na siya sa problema sa mga indigenous people. So the last one is the recent developments, which is mga gakahitabo karon or mga ginabuhat karon. So we have here the advocacy and activism. So in activism and activism, indigenous movements, we have here the indigenous movements. I'm sorry. So indigenous groups and allies continue to advocate for better enforcement of their rights, greater protection of ancestral domains, and respect for their cultural heritage. So, mao na siya ang mga ginabuhat sa mga atong mga katawhan karon. We also have here in the government and NGO initiatives, which includes the programs and partnerships. So, in programs and partnerships, various government agency and non-governmental organizations or the NGOs work to support indigenous communities through development programs, legal assistance, and capacity building initiatives. So, dili lang ang mga katawhan nato ang kanang naga-help na i-advocate ang ilahang rights, um ang ilahang katong mga rights nila, but as well as ang government pod, nagatabang pod ang government ana nga mga buluhaton. So, in summary, the Philippines has made significant strides in recognizing and protecting the rights of indigenous peoples through legislations like IPRA, which is, I mentioned, pinakauna sa ako ang report. But challenges remain in ensuring effective implementation and addressing ongoing threats to indigenous lands and cultures. So even though even though we have the nana sila kanang own nila nga rights na natay mga law about ana nagapadayon gihapon ang mga challenges nga gina-face sa mga IP groups, which is um ato isa ato isang mga threat sa mga land, ang mga encroachment and such. But despite of that, um ang government is nagatabang gihapon, and hopefully everyone will be educated by this kind of groups diri sa atong Philippines para maiwasan nato ang some discriminations and mga conflict between each beliefs or culture na naata, so that we can keep peace here in our country. Yun lang po. Thank you.